I should warn you, I'm kind of famous here.
You do know you're famous everywhere, right?
What if meeting your heroes
I'm Carol Danvers.
was crazier than you ever expected?
Captain Marvel is in our house.
On November 10th.
How are you feeling, Miss Marvel?
I was born for this.
Marvel Studios' The Marvels, rated PG-13, in theaters November 10th. Tickets available now.
The time is upon us. Prepare thyselves for battle most fierce and awesome. This spring, the biggest heroes of the Marvel Universe assemble for the crossover of the century. Marvel Comics presents Infinity Pause.
Hello, Marvelites, and welcome to a very special Marvel Comics showcase here at the Marvel booth. And a special welcome to everyone watching this on Marvel's live stream, whether you're tuning in live at home, out on the town, in the Daily Bugle offices, maybe from the Bifrost, or you're right here with us at the booth. This is the main stage for all the things Marvel at New York Comic Con. We're going to have big Marvel moments, guests, surprises, giveaways, and so much more. Now, we're going to do a big, fun Marvel Comics showcase, but we wanted to start things off with some news from this week at New York Comic Con. In case you missed it, we got a lot of fun stuff. Yesterday, we had the Amazing Spider-Man Gang War panel, where we showed some really cool stuff. Amazing Spider-Man 41 through 44, which is the big Gang War event that's coming up. It is very exciting. On sale later this year into 2024. We're very excited by that. We announced a Jackpot series, which is awesome. I don't want to spoil who it is, but she's got red hair. She's very close to Spider-Man. Maybe you've heard of her. We'll talk about that later. Written by Celeste Bronfman, art by Joey Vasquez. On sale January 17th. You hit the jackpot, baby. Let's see. We had a Marvel Comics showcase here yesterday, talking about Wolverine Sabretooth War. We got our first exclusive look at art from the series. Beautiful stuff by Corey Smith, Oren Jr., Jeff Shaw, and Alex Sinclair. And just nasty, nasty stuff from writer Ben Percy. Later today, though, is the big one. It is the Marvel Next Big Thing panel. That's happening upstairs. If you are going to go to any panel at New York Comic Con, that's the one to go to. It's happening. I think this is room 405 at 3:15 today. I'm hosting it. I am not at all the reason to go. It's going to be great. As I like to say, we've got secrets that we're going to share there. Lots and lots of cool stuff for that. But right now, let's get this started. I'm very psyched to start our Saturday live stream. I see y'all up there with a very special Marvel Comics showcase. Do I have any Scarlet Witch fans here? We got smoochers over here, Scarlet Witch fans everywhere. I love it. Hex, yeah. Let's see. Holler if you love Quicksilver. Yeah, Quicksilver. Very good. Any twins here today? No? All right, well, fine, fine. I am very excited, though, talk about our favorite twins and bring to the stage some folks who happen to know a thing or two about those marvelous Maximoff kids, as well as reveal a scintillating sneak peek at where you'll see them next in Marvel Comics. Please, y'all, make some noise for the incredibly talented writer of Scarlet Witch, Astonishing Iceman, Spider-Man 2099, and more, Sweet Steve Orlando! Hi, Steve. Thanks. I was thinking about it. Sweet Steve fits you very well. And give it up for the editor behind Captain America, White Widow, and more, editor Alana Smith. Yay, Alana! So glad you could join us. Obviously, we're here, New York Comic Con. I know, Steve, you barely made it onto this side of the floor this whole con. Alana, I'm sure you just got here, really. Have you gotten to see any cool cosplay, anything fun, anything that any Marvel stuff that wowed you so far?
I rode down on the Metro North, and there was an incredible Storm cosplayer, doing the latest costume, and it kind of blew my mind a little. So that was pretty cool.
Yes.
Alana's answer was so good. I saw a man who turned himself into a life-size version of the game Operation.
Ooh.
Which is my favorite.
Yeah. If you get too close to him, do you get zapped?
Well, stay tuned, I suppose.
I guess so. We're excited to have you here because I believe we can finally now here live on the stage share some exciting news. Marvel fans, you're hearing it right now, the exclusive announcement that Wanda and Pietro Maximoff are getting their own new series. I'm thrilled to get to announce Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, brand new series coming February 2024, written by the man himself, Sweet Steve Orlando. You're forever and ever, I'm going to call you Sweet Steve. Pencils and inks by the incredible Lorenzo Tometa, and the book edited by the one and only Alana Smith. And look, check out this cover right here. Look up there on the screen. Gorgeous, gorgeous stuff by the GOAT, Russell Dauterman. How much fun is it to have covers by Russell? I mean, come on. Come on.
It's killer.
It's so good. This book looks amazing. I know you're excited for it. And this is going to be, of course, spinning out of the pages of the Scarlet Witch series that Steve has been writing. The new title is The Evolution of the Storyline you've been crafting so far. But, Steve, tell us, how does this current storyline that's been going on in Scarlet Witch take us into Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver?
Well, you've seen Wanda going out on her own, especially with Trial of Magneto, especially with Darkhold, closing the book on a lot of the things she's been struggling with for the past 10, 20 years. And since then, it seems as though she's got everything under control. It seems as though there's almost nothing she can't handle. And in a power sense, that's usually true, but in a personal sense, can that ever really be true? So we've been testing her more and more with every issue. We've been sending her to places she's never been before. The Kree Skrull Empire. Down into the microverse, down into the Ideaverse, actually. And with every new struggle, she seems to really solve things easier and easier. But the reality is that she's almost become possibly too confident. She's almost been overcompensating like some of us do for the struggles in the past. So as we meet Hexfinder in the end of the current arc, someone who is after Wanda specifically for her vendetta against witches and what witches stand for in the world, Wanda becomes finally up against someone who makes her question sort of not just who she is, but why she does what she does. And even though she's presumably going to survive that because we have a cover coming after that, it leaves her in a point where she is sort of pulling together for that chosen family we've built in the book. Yes, people like Polaris. Yes, people like Wiccan. People like Speed, who we haven't seen yet, but we might in the future. But especially Pietro. Unfortunately, just as she's realizing she really does need these people, and she can't really do it all on her own, we have, can we say a revelation? We have an incendiary piece of family history that comes across her plate that blows up her relationship with Pietro in a way that hasn't happened in a very long time. And even though they've been getting along very well, that's kind of the unique thing about family, you know? She even says it in the first issue. No matter how good things are going, he knows exactly what to say, you know, when he wants to. And that's the good and bad thing about family. So just as they're blown up personally, she gets blown up professionally as well with a threat that is, again, specifically needs Pietro and Wanda to stay apart, because it doesn't just threaten her, Earth, it doesn't just threaten even our universe, it threatens all of reality the longer they're together. So for all of Wanda's power and all of her confidence, all the positive steps she's making throughout the first series, now she's a target because of that. Now, you know, she's been getting into good trouble, as John Lewis liked to say. But good trouble still means that sometimes people come after you and want that retribution. And that's how we kick off Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver.
I like you talking about the family and like bringing everybody together. Alana, one of the things that I thought was really cool, and I heard you talk about this recently in a meeting, was we have a character that originated in the MCU, became a fan favorite character, Darcy, and then bringing Darcy into the book Are you going to hurt Darcy? Alana, will you keep her safe for us?
That's a great question for Alana to answer.
She's already been in a lot of danger, so I think she'll probably continue to be in some danger. But I mean, we're very attached to her. She brings a lot of fun to the series.
Can we talk about her weapon in issue 10?
Yes, I think you can. If
No,
you would
I
like.
want you to pitch it to them because.
Oh, sure. She's got a death pillow in issue 10, basically.
A death pillow.
Yes.
By the way, not something that Steve Orlando made up, an actual Marvel creation. But, you know, Darcy's been paying attention. She's been learning a lot of things, and she does, as we've said, my favorite weapon I've ever put in a book. It's not the first appearance, but it is probably at least, in at least 30 to 40 years, the appearance of the much-loved Marvel weapon, the pillow of life and death. Mm-hmm. I'm very excited for everybody to see it. A real thing, by the way.
No, I'm trying to think. Was this in Defenders? We're going to have to figure this out.
It might even be a timely. It's been a while. But you know what? When you see a pillow that can kill someone, it feels like a Darcy Lewis weapon.
Yes.
So.
Yes, very much so. We saw the cover up there previously for issue number 1 of the series, and that was drawn and colored by Russell Dauterman. But this is New York Comic Con, and we got to bring some more exclusive first looks. So right now we have some art from the book by artist Lorenzo Tometa. And it's amazing stuff. Can we throw that up there for us? Yes. Ooh.
Darcy. She's so pretty.
Yeah. Lorenzo here at the show as well, so shout out to Lorenzo. Very
yes, he
cool.
has a table in Artist Alley, so go visit him and tell him how much you like Scarlet Witch, because he's great.
Heck yeah. But we also, up there, we see Pietro, and, you know, we see Pietro pop up in this title a little bit so far. But why was it important to take this book in this direction and incorporate Quicksilver on a grander level?
Well, look, first of all, it bears mentioning we are coming up in the 60th anniversary of both characters, so it felt right to bring him back into co-lead for this series, celebrate him as well as Wanda. And at the same time, he has been off, he's been living, but it felt, I mean, in a creative sense, we love having him in the book. It's like, you know, he's dynamite when he's there, because Pietro will say the thing that often we want to say, but we maybe think better of it, or we think it might be rude or off, or, you know, uncouth, but he'll say it. And he brings a chaotic energy to the book, no pun intended, that I think is really, really special. Wanda has her sense of humor and has her tone of voice, but I think Pietro is much more cutting. In a way, he's much more honest. I try to think, what did I say in the original pitch? He's someone who's kind, but he doesn't really care about being nice. And I think that brings a lot of fun to the book. And at the same time, we've been doing such work with Wanda. We've been spotlighting the diversity of her powers, the dynamic things she can do, and it's really, really exciting to do the same and give the same love to Pietro during the 60th anniversary. I think it's fair to say, within the first 2 issues, he has expressions of his powers that have never been seen before, and I'm extremely, extremely excited about that. But it's not just about his powers; it's about who he is, and bringing him back into this chosen family narrative we're doing. So you'll not just see Pietro back in the book, you'll see Pietro with members of the extended Maximoff family that he really hasn't gotten a ton of time to spend with before. So guess at that, I suppose, but it's been great getting him back and really making him part of the core cast of the book.
Yeah, and it's nice because they've both grown a lot in the last few years as individuals, but they haven't really kind of circled back to their relationship and grown that. So a big part of what we wanted to do for the 60th was be like, what is next for them? Like they've both evolved in their own ways. Like Pietro is more mature, less of a control freak, still a jerk.
I like to call him a prickly pear.
He
prickly
is,
pear.
yes. And you know, Wanda has gotten a lot more, you know, confidence in herself. But have they grown together? And will those new changes that they've made to themselves like build off each other or crash against each other? And that's kind of what we're exploring here. So yeah.
Yeah. So is the like sibling relationship something that you particularly find interesting? You know, we don't have a ton of high profile sibling relationships that will headline books. I imagine that's got to be exciting to tackle that with particularly the Maximoffs, because they can really bounce off of each other in fun ways.
No, I think it is. I think that, you know, it is pleasing to have them together for all the reasons you said. And also, as we said earlier, family's a complicated thing, especially siblings, but family in general. as we all know, it can be supportive, but it can also be extremely complicated. So it's great to have them together and to speak truth to that. They can love each other, but that doesn't mean everything is perfect. I mean, Pietro says in the book during the argument in the first issue, and Wanda has said it during the truth duel with Loki. Pietro loves her, but even she knows that secretly he's still afraid of her a little bit all the time. And but that doesn't contradict each other, not in a family setting. So I think having them together specifically, it's a perfect way to give deeper, richer characterizations for both of them. You couldn't get, I would argue, even with Wanda's friends and Pietro's friends in the Avengers or other people, because nobody knows you like family. And that can be a good thing. It can also be a terrible, infuriating thing. But for us as creators, it's an amazing thing because we can get across things about these folks that you never could with any other relationship.
Well, Alana, you mentioned, hearing Steve's pitch, or I think you guys were talking about that. What hooked you about Steve's story, the overall story, the Scarlet Witch, and then Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver? What was it about this that was like, I want to make this book?
I mean, we kind of did a lot of idea jamming on this
Yes.
on this specific thing because I think the one nugget of an idea that we started with was they get delivered this letter and Wanda screws up the relationship for once instead of Pietro because of this secret that they've discovered. So that was kind of the seed we started with, and there was a lot of back and forth about what that revelation would be and what would be enough that it would create this huge rift between them. But I was really compelled by the idea that Wanda is the one that kind of goofs things up for once, because usually Pietro's the one who comes in guns blazing and saying the worst things imaginable. He's my favorite character, so I can say that about him.
It all becomes clear now.
Yes, my pro Pietro agenda is well known. But I also love Wanda, and I love them together, and it felt right for them to be together on the anniversary. So we kind of just spitballed for a while and figured out who would be a compelling villain to pit them against, what's the backdrop of this story. So it was very collaborative, I think.
I love it. We love that. All right, everybody out there, make sure you're setting a reminder to pick up Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver #1 when it releases in February 2024. Of course, catch up on all of Steve's phenomenal work on the Scarlet Witch series, on Marvel Unlimited, and so much more. You get access to over 30,000 Marvel comics and counting. But we talked about it. We had a lot of Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver fans here watching along live right now. So we're going to do a quick lightning round, fun questions about the Maximovs before we let you go.
Sure.
Scarlet Witch has been through many different eras, and you could interpret that how you wish. Which one is your favorite, and why?
Can I say ours?
Am I not supposed to say
Which is
our own?
fine. Promote your dang book.
But there's a lot of amazing stories that have come before, but I'm just so in love with what we've been able to do with it, and as an editor, I'm blessed with a very good team, and Steve and Lorenzo and Sarah Pichelli, and all the incredible artists we've been able to work with on this book. So for me, this one's kind of my favorite.
Good. Well, let me counterpoint just for in the spirit of equity. As someone who did not have a comic book store on my side of the city for a long time, I actually first encountered the Scarlet Witch on the Iron Man cartoon show.
Oh.
And so let me say, a fun era would be the Force Works era, Wanda. And in a way, it does connect to ours. The whole idea with that book being proactive, solving problems for people in a different way, an unexpected way. So, yes, I like ours the best too, of course. But I will say that era, the Force Works era, early to mid-'90s, that's where I met Wanda. For me, of course, it was, again, through the animation. And then in the mid-'90s, we did finally get a comic store. So I started to read her, actually, in old West Coast Avengers. So all of my eras are eras that people have strong opinions about. But I do have a soft spot for early 90s Force Works Wanda.
Nice.
This is cheating a little bit, but X-Men Evolution Wanda Maximoff is killer. She's so cool.
Back to animation, people can check that out. At what speed does Pietro listen to podcasts? Do you think he can even handle that? Do they go fast enough?
I was going to say, I feel like him listening to other people's opinions is not something he'd be interested in.
As our foremost expert on Quicksilver, I feel that's a good answer.
If he did, it would be at like the maximum speed possible. But I kind of feel like he wouldn't have time to listen to other people, say what they think.
Time or interest? Interest is the key. That's key.
Yeah. I'm not sure if you all have siblings, but if you and your siblings were granted superpowers, what would you want yours to be, and what would you pick for a sibling?
Oh gosh, I have a lot of siblings. Can I pick just one sibling?
You can answer twice
your
because
favorite.
I'm an only child, so you can give 2 answers.
Oh, okay. Oh gosh. I don't know. Super speed sounds fun, but also tedious in its way. So I don't know. Flight is very basic, but I've always thought flying would be very cool. And then I don't know. Sibling powers. What goes with flight?
Do you have a sibling you don't like? Because you could give them. Well, because
They're watching right now.
You could give them.
I love all my siblings equally.
You could give them snow cones powers.
Maybe teleportation, because then I'd get to see him more, and that would be nice.
That was far too sweet. Fine, we'll end on that one. Guys, it's been a blast. Everyone, give it up one more time for the incredible Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver writer, startling Steve Orlando. I switched it up there a little bit for you. And Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver editor, amazing Alana Smith. And don't forget, make sure you're picking up Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver #1 when it comes out in February 2024. Thank you all for being here with us at the Marvel booth. We'll be back real soon with lots more from the Marvel stage at New York Comic Con 2024. See you soon.
The time is upon us. Prepare thyselves for battle most fierce and awesome. This spring, the biggest heroes of the Marvel Universe assemble for the crossover of the century. Marvel Comics presents Infinity Pause.
Controlled chaos.